Okay lang, sir.
So, yung MC ba, papasok na ang system. So, paano yun tayo sa MCs?
Ay, naging tayo sa MCs? Parang mas ano ka? Paano yung mga participant? Lahat sa lang screen na. Okay, sinasabi. Yes, sir. Sige na lang. Habang may time pa. So, sa screen na lang tayo. Pero yun lang. Sampulan tayo ulit. Sampulan tayo ulit.
Pagbibigay natin sa mga process sa MC.
Sige.
Ang parang sa nakaiwan sa discuss sa
YouTube na lang tayo.
Kita tayo sa YouTube.
Yes, sige. Hindi ko kanina okay. Nasa screen na tayo.
So, out kami.
Okay, out na lahat.
How about
I don't know. Okay, nakawan na sa live streaming. Ano yung na tayo? Okay, pasok na sila ng YouTube. YouTube na mga ano. Okay naman yung YouTube.
Sir, Lisa.
Sige. I-close na natin.
Camera ka man.
Close natin, ma'am.
Close na.
Close na ulit.
Share screen, ma'am. Andun naman ako. Mag-i-guide ko po kaya. Mag-private na kaya. Hindi. Okay lang, ma'am. Para
Yes. Start na po tayo. Naka-live stream na po tayo. Okay, backstage lang po ako. Take it away po.
NC.
Yeah.
Magbigay yung Q. Magbigay. Q. Kaya. Usap muna kayo. Bago. Start.
Saan na po kayo, sir, sa engagement? Salamat.
Dapat nagdala tayo ng muna na isa, no? Ay, connect natin dito. Siyempre kayo mag-discuss kayo. Gamitin natin yung isa. Hindi ma'am, dapat monitor. Yung sinasabi ni Sir Rod ka.
Kaya mas gusto ko sa school na lang sana. Sa school.
Tingin naman, ma'am.
Nakikita na kayo sa lang.
Ay, sorry.
Saka si Ma'am Martin and si
Third day.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Naibigay na rin niya sa search na sa ECS. Hindi siya. Para gumagawa ka naman.
Nilagin ko pa rin. Kita ko.
Bakit nasa show na ako?
Para kumanap na TV. Monitor sa school. HDMI mo. Eh, wala naman HDMI na.
Okay. Okay, hindi. Hindi natin signal ni Madam. Start na po.
Start na po.
kapag sa dilim lang, questions nila, pwede na kung may siya ibigay.
Start na po.
Okay na po.
Okay na?
Sabi na po ni Sir Rod, oh.
Start
Start na
na?
po, ma'am.
Okay. To our beloved Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Danilo C. Sison, our OIC, Assistant Schools Division Superintendent in Elementary, Dr. Wilfredo E. Sindayan, our Schools Division Superintendent, OIC, in Secondary, Dr. Arlene Casipit, our CID Chief, Dr. Cornelio C. Aquino, our SGOD Chief, Dr. Rosalino T. Agpalo, equally respected education program supervisors led by our kind-hearted EPS, Dr. Annabel Parel, to our very competent public schools district supervisors, fellow school heads, dear teachers, friends, ladies and gentlemen, a blissful morning to each and everyone. Education must continue, as mentioned by our DepEd Secretary, Madam Leonor M. Briones. Our DepEd family keeps on doing some measures to improve reading and numeracy skills of the K to grade 3 learners, following the K to 12 program, in spite of our challenging time in this pandemic. Moreover, this training will surely strengthen teachers' capability to teach and assess reading and numeracy skills effectively, and to establish a school-based mentoring learning program through Slack sessions. Let us brace ourselves as we learn and relearn and keep abreast with some techniques and strategies that we could use in our field of work. Once again, welcome to our LLN Digital Division Training. To begin with, let us sing our pambansang awit, followed by a prayer through an audio-visual presentation.
Mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit Pilipinas.
Vast and rolling plains give life to the sturdy hands. Men, women, young and old find hope and glory in this fold. This home of great joy and gladness, of fertile lands and green valleys, nature that captures the eye and soul, oh bless the heart of doubt and peace. East to west, from north to south, faithful ones pack and gather at the pilgrim of the North, whispering a common prayer resounding. Mabuhay, mabuhay, Pangasinan to I sing mabuhay to you. Oh, men, women, young and old, find hope and glory in this fold. Oh, I sing mabuhay, Pangasinan too.
At this juncture, let us listen to our Education Program Supervisor in charge of ELLN, Dr. Annabel Parel, as she gives her welcome remarks.
Ayan. Magandang umaga po sa ating lahat. Gusto kong batiin sa umagang ito ang ating mahal na SDS, Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Danilo C. Sison. Gayon din ang ating mahal na dalawang magagaling na Assistant Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Wilfredo E. Sendayan and Dr. Elln V. Casipit. Gayon din po ang aking pagbati sa ating mahal din na CID Chief, ang ating Chief Education Supervisor ng Curriculum Implementation Division, Dr. Cornelio R. Aquino, lahat ng schools supervisor na kasama natin ito, kita niyang mga school heads, ang ating mga LAC leaders, ang ating mga K-3 teachers, ang technical working group ng digital ELN orientation. Magandang umaga sa ating lahat. Yan, napapasalamat po ako sa ating Panginoon sa ibinigay na araw at pagkakataon sa atin upang maibahagi na naman ang ilan sa mga programa ng ating Department of Education. Ayan. So sa 5 araw na ito po, ay magkakaroon tayo ng orientasyon sa implementation ng ating digital ELN. Ito po ang na Early Language Literacy and Numeracy Professional Development Program para sa ating mga LAC facilitators, lock leaders, school lock facilitators, school lock leaders, at higit sa lahat, para sa ating mga K-3 teachers. Ang isa sa mga mahahalagang pundasyon sa edukasyon. Kinakailangan po na ipagpatuloy natin ang pag-develop, paglinang sa kakayahan ng ating mga guro kahit sa pandemya, kahit sa nararanasan nating sitwasyon ito. So nakita natin ang kahalagahan ng digital ELN sa oras o sa sitwasyon natin, sa panahon natin ito ngayon. So matutunghayan po natin kung paano natin gagamitin ang teknolohiya para sa professional development ng ating mga K-3 teachers. So sinabi po natin na ito po ay enhanced na ELN sapagkat ang mga skills sa pagtuturo sa beginning reading sa K-Stage 1 ng ating mga guro sa pamamagitan ng paggamit ng teknolohiya. So may papaliwanag po mamaya ang mga paraan kung paano po ang implementasyon ng ating digital ELN. Kung kaya hinihikayat po ang lahat na makinig sa bawat presentasyon, makinig sa bawat video na maipapalabas natin sa 3 araw na ito para sa ating orientation, at ang mga nalalabing mga araw ay julin natin para sa workshop asynchronous na activity para sa 5 araw na digital ELN orientation program. So maraming salamat po sa lahat sa suporta. Sana'y mag-enjoy po kayo sa pakikinig. Ang lahat po ng inyong mga katanungan ay maaari pong ilagay lamang o encode natin sa ating comment session at maaari pong balikan at sagutin ng ating mga tagapanayam maya-maya after ng kanilang panayam. Muli, maraming salamat at pagpalain tayong lahat ng ating poong may kapal. Salamat po. Back to you, Ma'am Marilyn.
Salamat, Ma'am Ani, sa napakainit na pagbati sa aming lahat. Okay, and at this juncture, let us welcome our beloved CID Chief, Dr. Cornelio Araquino, as he gives his message. Sir?
Yes, hello. Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat at binabati ko po ang mga nandirito. Alam ko po na you're all excited to learn about what are the methods and ways, strategies in teaching the curriculum, especially the early stages ng levels ng pagtuturo o pag-aaral ng ating mga kabataan. So una sa lahat, gusto kong batiin ang ating Superintendent, Sir Danilo Sison, ng ating pong dalawang butihing OIC Assistant Schools Division Superintendents, Dr. Willie Sindayen at Dr. Kasipit ng Secondary Schools in charge. At ganun din, sumasaludo po ako sa ating pong magaling na Education Program Supervisor, the organizer of this activity, Ma'am Ani, at ang mga kasama pa niyang mga EPS, na alam ko po na it's a collaboration and concerted efforts ng ating po mga ELLN supervisors. We have Ma'am Glo, Sir Red, and Ma'am Ani. They work together for all of us to be updated and to be honed of the new updates and the needed skills, okay, in implementing the curriculum amidst the pandemic. So to all of you, my dear participants, gusto ko rin palang batiin din ang ating pong MC, nakalimutan ko, at lahat po ng mga tao behind the success of this activity. Isa pong magandang araw. Pagpalain po tayo ng ating pong Panginoon at nawa tayo po ay ligtas At panalangin ko yung meron po mga karamdaman, kayo po ay mag-overcome, kayo po ay magkaroon po ng panibagong kalakasan mula sa ating pong Panginoon. So let me start with this number one thing that you need to to do as participant of this training. Number one, listen intently to our speakers. So let's open our ears, okay, and even our inner ears. Kasi po meron pong physical ears kung minsan ay napakinggan po natin pero lumalabas po sa kabila. So this time, so that you can remember the messages and the updates coming from our speakers. So I want you to have your notebook and ballpen with you kasi alam ko po na kung minsan ay nakakalimutan po natin yung mga napapakinggan po natin. So we need our notebook. We need to listen intently to them. Okay, so one way to do that is to jot down important matters, and if possible, you need to have the recorded lesson coming from our speakers. Number two, carefully observe the changes. I know that there are a lot of changes in the implementation of the curriculum. So let's all be vigilant. Dapat i-observe po natin ano yung mga dapat, ano yung mga dapat i-maximize po natin, ano na po yung i-left behind na po natin na may strategies because now that we are facing a health crisis in the entire world and also here in our SDO Pangasinan too, then let's take tawag natin dito, let's observe carefully kung ano po yung mga dapat na gawin po natin. Is it available for all teachers yung gagamitin na material, okay? Is it possible for all the learners? Do they have the gadgets to use? Are they connected in the internet? If not, kung meron po silang mga gadgets, actually, we can make use of the offline strategy, offline learning teaching. So, kailangan po ay mabilis po ngayon yung ating pong tawag natin pag-grasp sa mga changes na nangyayari ngayon. Okay, so grab the opportunity to learn more, especially the 21st century skill, learning more about computers, learning more about the different applications, learning more about the use of the different communication platform in teaching our learners, especially in the K to 3. So another thing is after this training program, I hope that you can apply the things that you have learned from your speakers. I hope that you're eager to try. Okay? So kung nagta-trying hard ka, it's okay. Walang problema. Huwag po tayo mahiya ngayon kung hindi po natin alam ang mga ginagawa po natin. Okay, yeah, let us accept that we are not digital natives of this use of the computers. We are actually digital aliens. Tayo po lahat ay hindi po naipanganak sa mga panahong computer po ang uso. Noong mga panahon po natin, typewriter lang po ang uso that time. Especially sa mga teachers po ngayon na nagkakaedad na, mga 45 years old and above. Actually, ito po yung ating pong mga karanasan. Okay, so let's apply then what we have taken for today, for the next day, and I believe you still have another day. And to be sure, kailangan po natin talaga na magkaroon po tayo ng coach. Okay, even me, kailangan ko po ng coach. Especially that I am holding a position that I need to relay messages to our teachers, principals, supervisors in the field. Kung hindi ko tutulungan yung sarili ko, magiging paralyzed po yung ating pong gawain dito po sa SDO Pangasinan 2. So, I have to apply. So, I'm learning now the use of the Google Meet, the Google Drive, the Google Form. What else? Now, I have the Google Classroom. And that is my way to communicate people in a synchronous manner. I know how to record my own discussions and lessons via the Google Classroom. So any time of the day, they can go to the classroom and learn. Kasi ang buhay po natin ngayon dito ay sa ngayon hindi po maganda ang signal. Mamaya maganda na po ang signal. So what shall we do? Let's all adopt what is best for our learners, because we are having this flexible modality of teaching, at the same time flexible modality of learning. So let us adapt. That's the last one, adapt it, because if you will not adapt it, then you will be losing a lot. Kailangan po natin na i-adapt ito, i-embrace natin ito, mahalin po natin yung mga pagbabago. Kung walang pagbabago, hindi po natin maisagawa ng tama ang ating mga isinasagawa. So this is learning through the laxation. So let's improve and strengthen then our laxations in the school so that all teachers will be honed and will be prepared for the implementation of the curriculum. So I will not talk too much. Thank you thank you po sa inyo pong pakikinig. Andito po ako ngayon sa Division Office. Ginagawa ko po ang ating pong trabaho at muli ako po ay nagpapasalamat sa inyo pong lahat. Ang inyo pong abang lingkod ay nandito parate para pakinggan ko po ang inyo pong mga daing, pakinggan ko ang inyo pong mga question, ang inyo pong mga comments and suggestions upang lalo pang mapaganda yung ating pong implementation for this year 2021-2022. Maraming salamat po. I love you all. I am praying for the safety and the health security to be upon all our participants and their families right now. In Jesus' name, amen and amen. Thank you.
Salamat, sir, sa inyong napakagandang Our outstanding officer in charge, Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Wilfredo E. Sindayen. He's in charge of elementary. He'll give his speech. Let us welcome him with a virtual clap. Sir?
Ma'am, wala pa siya, ma'am. Wala pa si sir. Pati po si SDS po, ma'am, wala pa.
Any time papasok po si sir? Let's now proceed to the orientation.
Yan. Okay, bumabalik po ako. Clear po ba? Narinig po ba? Ayan, so muli, may nagmanya sa ating lahat. Good morning, everyone. Good morning sa lahat ng ating mga guro na naka-join sa ating live streaming. Bago po ang ating orientation and the statement of purpose for our digital ELLN orientation, nais ko po munang humingi ng paumanhin dahil sa pagbabago ng ating platform, online platform, sa kadahilanan na marami pa po sa ating mga guro, sa ating mga teachers, ang hindi pa po na-activate ang kanilang Microsoft 365 account. So, hinihiling at hinihikayat po ang ating mga guro, ang ating mga school heads, lalong-lalo na gamitin po natin at i-update po natin ang ating Microsoft 365 account upang ma-enjoy po natin ang platform ng Microsoft Teams. Dahil ito po ay inihandog sa atin ng Department of Education na pwede natin magamit para sa ating pagtuturo, para sa ating mga trainings, sa ating mga school lock sessions. Ayan, yan po yung platform na libre para sa atin sa Department of Education. Lahat po ng inyong mga katanungan ay mangyari po lamang na inyong ilagay sa ating comment section upang mabalikan ng ating mga speakers and facilitators sa 3 araw na orientation. Ito po ay 5 araw, nakalagay po 5-day orientation po ito, 3 araw na online, at 2 araw na asynchronous activity. So, can we have the slides, Ma'am Nell? So, why are we gathered here today for this 3-day orientation? Nabanggit ko na po kanina na ito po ay Enhanced Early Language Literacy and Numeracy Training. Bakit po ito enhanced? Karamihan po sa ating mga school heads and K-3 teachers ay already trained on the ELLN or Early Language Literacy and Numeracy skills pertaining to the teaching of beginning reading. Okay. Yes. Ayan. So for our orientation and statement of the purpose, next slide, please. Ayaw nasa gumalaw yung ating ating presentation. So, ilan ito sa mga nagiging problema natin online. We cannot control it because of internet signal. Kaya humihingi ulit kami ng paumanhin.
Ma'am Ani.
Tulad na nasabi ko kanina. Yes, Sir Rod.
Ma'am, pa-share po ng presentation niyo, ma'am.
Hindi pa ba naka-share? Okay. Yes, sir. Share na. Salamat, Sir Rod, ang ating technical.
Yes po, ma'am.
In charge ng ating StreamYard and ng ating training sa araw na ito. Tulad na nasabi ko po kanina, ito po ay hindi training, unit orientation, kung paano natin i-implement ang digital ELLN sa ating mga paaralan. Since tayo po ay naka-live stream, so maaari po, pwede po natin imbitahan ang lahat ng mga school heads, ang lahat ng mga teachers natin, especially those who are trained on ELLN. Okay? So, tingnan po natin kung ano yung kung may mga katanungan na sa comment section habang inaantay natin ang ating slide para ma-project. Puro mga pagbati lamang ang mga nakikita natin sa ating screen. Magkakaroon din po tayo ng separate na training workshop para sa mga untrained school heads and K-3 teachers on early language literacy and numeracy. Magkaiba po yon. So, lahat po, kumuha na po ako ng datos, ng data sa ating mga coordinators sa ELLN. Sino-sino pa po ang wala pang training sa ating ELLN upang nagkaroon ulit tayo ng isa pa, huling training para sa ELLN. Since meron na po tayong digital, and then magkakaroon tayo ng isa pang training sa ELLN, inaasahan po natin na wala na pong eskwelahan ang magsasabi na meron pa po silang untrained teachers on ELLN. Sapagkat pagkatapos po ng ating orientasyon sa araw na ito, sa 3 araw na ito, at pagkatapos din po ng training of untrained teachers on ELLN na sa Nobyembre, ibibigay po natin sa kanila lahat, sa inyo, sa bawat eskwelahan, ang lahat ng material na gagamitin po para sa training natin, training ng bawat eskwelahan on early language literacy and numeracy. Meron po kayong mga bagong teacher na papasok sa paaralan, kailangan po taon-taon ay mai-include na po ninyo sa inyong LAC plan, school LAC session plan, ang ating early language literacy and numeracy skills training. So, pinakausapan po ang lahat na isama sa LAC plan ang ELLN training taon-taon para sa mga bagong guro na papasok sa key stage 1 from kinder to grade 3 teachers. Ayan. Okay? So, napakarami na po akong nabanggit. So, about our workshop, about our orientation for this 3-day orientation. So, this is an orientation on the ELLN digital package and the scale-up implementation planning. This was originally planned March 2020, kung maaalala ko po yun. I have already meet our coordinators of ELLN before the pandemic. Pero dahil po nagka-pandemic, nagkaroon ng stop po ang activity na ito. Humingi din po ako ng permiso noon sa ating ASDS, si Ma'am V, na kung maaari natin ituloy ito online. Nagbigay naman po siya ng go signal. Ngunit dahil po sa hindi pa tayo noon familiar sa mga online platform, hindi po natin nagawa agad-agad last year. So, pasalamat po tayo sa Panginoon sa pagkakataon na ito at sa ating SDS sa pagpayag na ituloy na po natin ang ating orientation implementation planning of ELLN digital program. Okay? So, ulitin ko, ito po ay orientasyon kung paano natin isasagawa ang digital ELLN sa bawat eskwelahan, sa lahat ng district. Okay. Next slide, please. Now, what is our goal? So, to capacitate the school heads and teachers for successful ELLN digital implementation. Ay, I'm spelling yung successful ko. Sensya na. Ayan. So, our target, our main goal is 100% implementation of the digital ELLN in our division. So, paano natin gagawin yon? So, we have this orientation now to orient and to let the school heads and the teachers have a knowledge on how to implement this ELN digital in every school. Okay, so that is our main goal. Capacitate the school. Okay. So what are our objectives in this workshop and orientation? First, to understand the blended learning model. Actually, ang mga teachers natin ngayon ay masyado lang knowledgeable on blended learning model. Kasi ginagamit na nila ito sa kanilang pagtuturo online and with the modular. So, mas madali na nating mai-introduce sa kanila ang digital ELLN dahil capacitated na po ang ating mga guro on blended learning model. Number 2, understand how the schools will do implementation of ELLN digital. Bakit may sobrang letter R doon? Hindi ko nakita yun. Okay. Napindot. So, may papaliwanag po sa darating mga araw, later on after this opening program, how are we going to implement this digital ELLN in our schools? Ano yung mga kailangan? What support do each school, do each teacher needs from the school head, from the district supervisors, who are our partners in implementation of every program, help or technical assistance from the division office to our CID chief. So, paano po natin yon maisasagawa lahat? Number 3, understand adaptive learning as the framework and process for monitoring, evaluation, and improvement on the implementation of the digital ELLN. This will help the school heads, the public schools district supervisors, the education program supervisors, and our CID chief in the monitoring, evaluation, and improvement of teaching and learning using the digital ELLN process and framework, which is the adaptive learning. Okay. So, ito po, hindi ko na po sinama yung ika-4, which is the how will the regional office, how will the central office monitor, evaluate, and see the improvement of teaching learning process in every school. Kasi ito na po ay gagawin na ating focal persons or team in the division office. So, what is our guideline? What is our legal basis for this digital ELLN implementation? So, that is included in the DepEd Order number 12, Series 2015, Guidelines on the Early Language Literacy and Numeracy Program under the Professional Development Component. Okay. So if we are going to read the DepEd Order number 12, Series 2015, it says there that we continue to capacitate all our K-3 teachers to provide better and quality education for our learners. Since we have this program, our department, Every Child a Reader, Education for All, and Industry 4.0. So, how can we do that? First, we capacitate our teachers, our K-3 teachers, with the guidelines using the DepEd Order number 12, Series 2015. So, patuloy po ang pag-capacitate natin, patuloy po ang paglinang natin sa ating mga guro ng kinder to grade 3 teachers. Bago man sila or seasoned teachers na sila, maaari pa rin po natin silang ipagpatuloy pa rin nila ang paglinang ng kanilang kakayahan sa pagtuturo upang maibigay natin ang karampatang kalidad na edukasyon para sa ating mga mag-aaral. Sabi nga nila, there should be no child left behind. Wala pang iwan na bata. Lalong-lalo na sa pagtuturo sa pagbasa. Kailangan lahat ng bata ay matutong bumasa, lahat ng bata ay matutong magbasa ng may pang-unawa. So sino pong makakagawa nun? Sino pong makakatulong nun? Kundi ang ating mga guro sa bawat eskwelahan. So upang magawa po natin yon, patuloy po natin nilangin ang kakayahan ng ating mga guro upang makapagbigay ng dekalidad na edukasyon para sa ating mga mag-aaral. Okay? Now, learning to read, write, and count are critical to a child's success in school and in later life. Tama nga naman yan. Sinasabi natin na ang bata, hindi, ang natuto nito upang bumasa, sumulat at bumilang ay hindi natural na lumalabas. Katulad ng pagsasalita, it is natural na ang paglalakad natututunan ng bata na in a process. Ganun din po yung pagbasa. So kung hindi natin maihahatid ito, maibibigay ito ng tama, wasto sa ating mga mag-aaral, doon po tayo nagkakaroon ng problema sa pag-develop, paglinang ng kanilang kakayahan sa pagbasa. Alam po natin na ginagawa lahat ng ating mga guro ang paraan upang matutunan, maituro sa mga bata ang kakayahan sa pagbasa. Ngunit may mga gawain sa ating mga guro, sa ating mga paaralan na minsan ay hindi sumasapat or hindi sa pag-aaral ng mag-aaral upang malinaw yung kanyang kakayahan sa pagbasa, kakayahan sa pagbasa. Kung kaya't ang misyon ng bawat K-3 teacher ay matulungan ang bawat mag-aaral na matutuhan ang foundational skills kung saan ito ay ang pagbasa, pagsulat, at pagbilang. Learning to read, learning to write, and learning to count, which are foundational skills in early language literacy and numeracy. So this is our vision. Our K-3 teachers, our Elln advocates, to enable all K-3 teachers to effectively help students acquire foundational skills in early language literacy and numeracy. Pinili po natin maging guro, kung kaya't alam ko na patuloy nating lilinangin ang ating kakayahan upang maihatid natin ang pangangailangan ng ating mga mag-aaral, lalong-lalo na sa foundation stage. Okay? Now, gusto ko pong ipakilala sa buong Pangasinan Division 2 ang ating Division Technical Assistance Provider for ELLN Digital Implementation. Okay. Of course, ang ating team leader, ang ating CID Chief, Dr. Cornelio R. Aquino. Sino-sino po ang mga kasama sa team? Ako po, si Ma'am Annabelle. We have also our dedicated, committed, and magagaling na public schools district supervisors. Dr. Arabella May Zuniga. Siya po, alam naman po natin na isa siya sa mga pioneer ng ELLN in the national and regional and of course na ating division. National trainer po siya at pioneer din po ng Mother Tongue MTV MLE. Okay? We have also Dr. Mildred C. Spiritu, ELN trainer also, Dr. Minerva G. Serafica, another ELLN trainer, Dr. Romel O. Casabar, Dr. Elma N. Oler, Dr. Rosabel C. Desamito, Dr. Marilyn S. Aquino, Dr. Marley M. Benigno, Ma'am Nefertari P. Valdiviso, and Dr. David V. Paraganan. Lahat po ng nakasama natin na ilagay sa ating Division Technical Assistance Provider for ELLN Digital are all certified ELLN trainer. Sila po ay na-train on the national level. Some of them are trained on the regional level. Actually, all of them are trained on the regional level. So, after this orientation, all our problems met in the implementation of our digital ELLN, magkakaroon po kami ng mga pagpupulong, mga kumustahan together with the team para tignan po ano ang aming maitutulong sa proseso ng implementasyon ng ating digital ELLN. So, kami po ay committed upang maibigay po sa inyo ang 100% na aming tulong para sa implementation ng ating digital ELLN in the division. I hope wala pong hihindi sa kanilang lahat. Okay. So, yun lamang po. Maraming salamat sa pakikinig. We are expecting questions under comment session. Huwag po kayong mahihiyang magtanong. Huwag din po kayong mahihiyang magbahagi ng inyong kaalaman, ng inyong kaisipan tungkol sa ating orientasyon sa araw at sa mga susunod na mga araw. So muli, maraming salamat sa ating lahat, sa inyong lahat, sa pakikinig. So, usap lang po namin, naway makinig po tayo, mag-take down notes, dahil lahat po ng pag-uusapan mula ngayon at sa mga susunod na araw ay kailangan po natin para sa implementasyon ng digital ELLN sa bawat eskwelahan, sa bawat district, at ng buong dibisyon ng Pangasinan 2. Mabuhay tayong lahat and God bless everyone. Back to you, Ma'am Marilyn.
Okay. Let's give our madam a virtual clap. Talagang napakagaling ng ating madam and alam ko na napakalaking hamon sa lahat ng kaguruan ng ating sitwasyon ngayon. Pero sino ba naman ang hindi ma-inspired pag ganyan ang EPS mo? Okay, so asahan nyo ma'am 101% ang aming support. Okay po. So time check, it's already 10 o'clock. So let's have 10 minutes break po. Okay, so pwede muna tayong magkape, pumunta ng restroom, or kung ano man ang gusto nyong let's have a break muna po. Okay? Salamat po. 10 minutes. We'll be back after 10 minutes. I hope na nakapag-energize na tayong lahat kapag kape. Okay, so we move on to our orientation proper. Our on-deck speaker is noted for her charm, a very smart principal too of Bautista District. She will discuss about understanding the blended learning model. Let us all welcome Ma'am Nefertiti Baldivicio. Take it away, ma'am. Let's give her a virtual clap. Yeah.
Sir Amor, share screen.
Pero hindi nyo nakita yung sarili mo. Okay. Ako pa rin kaya.
So, good morning to everyone, especially to our schools division superintendent, Dr. Nicholas Elln,
Good morning, ma'am. Ma'am,
Assistant
excuse
Schools
me.
Division Superintendent, Dr. Wilfredo E. Sendayan, our Chief in the CID, Sir Cornelio R. Aquino, of course, our EPS, the gorgeous and the brilliant Madam Annabel M. Parel, of course, our very supportive PSDSS of the different districts in Pangasinan 2, our Senior Education Program Supervisor in charge of HDD, Ma'am Malu, fellow school heads, the ELLN coordinators, and the LAC coordinators who are here with us. A pleasant morning to everyone. So, we all know that Philippines joined the PISA 2018. When we say PISA, it's a program for international student assessment. And let's not talk about the rank anymore. Let's look at the numbers. Now, since we're talking about ELLN, the average points of the participating countries, which is 79, is 487 points. That is on reading literacy. And we have to take note that the Philippines has only 340 points. So that's 187 points below the average score. So which means we need to be grittier, sabi nga nila, no? We have this term grit. We have to do hours, and we have to start making them functional readers in the early grades. So with this ELLN orientation, we need to make sure that we understand the model. Because if we don't understand the model, we could not embrace something that we are introduced. So I will be now sharing the slides. This was cascaded actually from the national implementation. And so it includes videos, and then I will be asking questions, and the answers to the questions are found in the video. So sabi nga ni Sir Cornel, dapat meron kayong ballpen, meron kayong paper para alam natin yung mga sagot. So let's start with a comparison between traditional face-to-face cascade model versus the blended learning model. And as you could see here, meron naman sis. Pero meron. Meron na po, ayan. Kasi sabi nga nila, anticipate po tayo sa StreamYard to YouTube. So, ayan, please bear with me. Tinawisan tayo nung nagka-problema tayo sa internet. Meron na po, nakikita. Okay, so this is a diagram for a traditional face-to-face cascade model. So gaya nung dating nating ginagawa, the experts provide training and national master trainers. And then the national master trainers cascade to division and then to the regions and finally to the curriculum implementers who are our beloved teachers. Now, this one is a diagram for blended learning model. Yan. As you could see, it is a cycle wherein meron na dyan. Meron sis. May nakikita sa meron sis. Bakit dito?
Hello, Ma'am Nif. Ma'am Nif, ilang screen ang ginagamit niyo, ma'am? Patalastas lang po.
Ulitin na.
Ilang screen yung ginagamit niyo, ma'am? Ma'am Nef? Naririnig niyo ako, Ma'am Nef? Hello?
So, we are in the diagram for blended learning model. Are we all there? Ayan, nasa tamang rin po ba kayo screen?
Hello, ma'am. Ma'am, ilang screen ba yung ginagamit nila dyan?
So, we have their guided independent study of the self-study of the multimedia courseware with classroom application and concepts learned. And then and the discussion will and advocates. There is a collaborative learning through school-based learning action cells led by the LAC facilitators. Usually in the blended learning model, the teachers meet at least once every 2 weeks in labs to reflect on the course and their classroom practice. And then, of course, there will be reflection and knowledge building. As we will note later on, the reflection that we are referring here is not only the during the slacks, but since it will be self-paced, the reflection will also be done internally. So, mas maganda po yung atake natin dito sa blended learning model.
Hindi. Ma'am, naka-on na ba yan? Hindi. Ma'am, di ba
Yan. So, these are the advantages of the blended learning model versus the traditional face-to-face learning model. So, the individual teachers can study the lessons at their own pace, at their own time. So, there will be no time to be wasted. Kasi kung kailan free ang teacher, pwede niyang pag-aralan yung laman ng ating ELLN package, which includes 5 modules with 15 lessons. And then the teachers are given the chance to study, apply the lessons, and they could reflect on their experiences. Okay, so assignments are also given for teachers. And every time they will meet during their lab, meron silang mga outputs na gagawin or assignments. And then the input and learning is spread out over a couple of months. So hindi siya yung during the duration of the LAC lang na 3 days lang siya, 2 hours per day, hindi po siya ganun. Kundi mas iintindihan ng ating teachers at mas magiging part na ng kanilang pagkatao itong ELLN. Kasi nga po, over a couple of months yung ating learning. The collaborative learning sessions would also strengthen teachers' bond or collegial relationships. They will be able to learn from and with each other. Opo. So we will now be presenting to you the video viewing and Q&A from the ELLN Digital National Implementation. So first question, what material should the school head provide to teachers before they can take the ELLN digital course? So meron po tayong mga prerequisites.
Meron po dyan yung slide ko ng dapat din kaya. Kuhan. Sige lang. Kuhan pa rin. Agora para show. Okay. Ano yung nakikita mo dyan, Mara?
Dito na lang dadaan yung mga ano.
Hoy. Ayusin natin yung ano niya. Then, mag-share na ako ngayon. Okay. Pare. Share screen. Okay, wait.
Technical glitches. So let's go back to the first question. What material should the school head provide to teachers before they can take the ELLN digital course?
ELLN Digital, a blended course on early language literacy and numeracy instruction for kindergarten to grade 3 teachers in the Philippines. After completing the course, your teacher should be able to explain the principles of early language literacy and numeracy development and instruction, discuss the components of balanced literacy and numeracy instruction, and plan and implement balanced literacy and numeracy instruction for K-3 learners. Achieving these course objectives should enable teachers to develop reading and writing skills, critical thinking, and problem-solving skills. How do we start? The entire course is run in school where the teachers are. It is delivered exactly as it was designed for maximum teacher benefits. To understand that the course has two components that need to work in tandem. Number one, self-study of an interactive multimedia courseware with classroom application of concepts learned. And number two is a collaborative learning in school-based learning action cells. First, make sure that and principal guides and tools for LAC facilitators. Master copies of the ELLN Digital Course School Package have been provided to all the regional and division offices, who will then send this to all the schools they are responsible for. You also need to make sure that the following K-3 storybooks are available in your school. Araw sa Palengke by May Tobias Papa, Si Pilong Patago-Tago by Christine Canon, Ang Kamatis ni Peles by Virgilio Almario, Tide Times by Jeanette Patindol, Tuko, The Tenor Wannabe by Nema Hermosa. Second, properly organize your K-3 teachers into LACs. Organize learning action cells to have up to 15 members only, inclusive of the LAC facilitators. Every K-3 teachers taking the ELLN digital course must be part of a LAC. And LACs can have less, but never more than 50 members. LACs can be made up of the same grade level teachers, or you could put together teachers who have the same teaching time slot, morning teachers and afternoon teachers. But you cannot have more than 50 members in a LAC, and no teacher should be without.
Okay, so I'm sure you took down some important notes, no? Balikan nga natin ang ating question kanina at sino kaya ang pwedeng sumagot sa ating YouTube live stream. Yan, sabi niya, what material should the school head provide? Yan, pa-comment nga po sa ating comment area dyan sa YouTube. At titignan ng ating technical working group kung sino ang nakapag-take down ng notes. Ano ang ibibigay ni school head upang makapag-umpisa ng ELLN digital course ang ating mga teachers? Ayan, meron na po bang sumagot sa ating live stream? Or nagmimerienda din sila? Sige, ang sagot. Ayan, no? Mainipin. Ibigay na natin ang sagot. So, the school head should provide the ELLN digital course school package. Ayan. It includes the courseware and then the guides, course guide, school head guide, and the LAC facilitators guide, and the K-3 storybooks. Ayan. Ano yung title ng mga storybooks na naalala nyong na-mention ni Ma'am Sevilla? Tama ba ako? Ayan. Sabi ni Ma'am Marley, nandito si Ma'am Marley sa ating venue. Araw sa Palengke. Ano pa po? 5 po yung storybooks na kailangan natin. Wala pa rin nagko-comment, Ma'am Marlene? Marami na. Thank you so much. We will review that. Ayan. Kamatis ni Peles, si Pilong Patago-Tago. Ayan. Tight Times and yan, the Tenor Wannabe. So those are the needed materials to be provided by the school head. Pero wag mag-worry ang ating mga school heads dahil to the rescue ang ating EPS, Ma'am Annabel Parel. She will be providing a USB with all these resource packages. Yes po, per district. Yan. Nasa USB na po ang mga kailangan. So, yan. Thank you, Ma'am Annie, for that. And now, segment 2 na tayo, ha? Name at least 2 characteristics of good LAC facilitators. Ayan, pakinggan natin ang video at panoorin.
Find one LAC facilitator for the duration of the course. It is very important for LAC facilitators to be a constant element of the LAC to become a cohesive unit. LAC facilitators do not need advanced training in Elln. School heads can be facilitators. What is more important is for you to designate teachers to be LAC facilitators who can facilitate group discussion and sharing. If necessary, talk to your head teachers to get their inputs. But make sure that the LAC facilitators you designate are the best for the job. People who are good listeners and eager to learn from others and will inspire trust and sharing. What is even more important is that LAC facilitators adhere strictly to the LAC Facilitators Guide without exception. School heads, it is your responsibility to make sure that your LAC facilitators are individually provided with the LAC Facilitators Guide before the course begins. LAC facilitators will only be able to function properly by following the LAC Facilitators Guide. Also note that this course cannot be run at the same time as the ELLN face-to-face training, and the materials of the 2 courses are not interchangeable or interusable.
Okay, so that is Ma'am Rosalina Villaneza. Let's go back to the question. 2 characteristics of good LAC facilitators. Ayan. So, mag-comment na po tayo sa ating YouTube live stream. Ayan. Reminder din po, 15 members only, including the LAC facilitator. So, if you have more than 15 teachers from kinder to 3, then you can have them by grade level na lang po. Kasi nga, 15 members lang tayo in our LAC. Okay, so may mga comments na po sa ating live stream. At ito yung mga best na makukuha natin from the video. A LAC facilitator should be a good listener. Eager to learn from and work with others. So hindi si LAC facilitator ay pinaglihi kay Jollibee. Hindi siya pwedeng bida-bida. Yan. Kailangan alam niya na pwede siyang matuto mula sa mga kasama niyang guro sa K-3 at siya rin ay may magandang maiaambag sa mga kasamahan niya. And of course, the LAC facilitator inspires trust and sharing. Yan. Not only in ELL and ISLAC po ito, sa lahat ng LAC session, ito ang pinakamagandang characteristic na isang FASI. Trust, yan. I-inspire niya ang trust and sharing among the colleagues. Okay, segment 3 na tayo. Bilis, no? Ganyan lang po tayo. Watch the video. Nandun ang sagot sa question. So, kung makikinig lang, masasagot nyo lahat ang mga tanong natin. Name at least 3 ways that the school head can support LAC. Ayan, fellow school heads. Ayan, makinig po tayo, ha?
Put in place your system for LAC support and sustainability. As school heads, it is your responsibility to provide a copy of the ELLN digital courseware and course guide to all K-3 teachers in the course before it begins. The master copy of CD can be reproduced as much as needed. Remember, your teachers will only get the full benefit of the course if they have individual copies of the courseware and guides that they can keep and use for themselves anytime, anywhere. You also need to make sure that all participating teachers have access to the K-3 storybook. The books can stay in one place like the library or your office. But you need to give all the participating K-3 teachers time and space to use these books while taking the course. Each and every LAC should meet for at least 90 minutes twice a month. You can give them time for more sessions, but you cannot give them less. You should also give your LAC facilitators time to go over teachers' engagement reports submitted by the participants at each LAC session and accomplish their LAC session reports. Meet regularly with you or your designated school LAC leaders. Talk about best practices and challenges regarding ELN and LAC implementation. You're also responsible for collection of LAC session reports generated by the LAC facilitators. You will need to send copies of these reports to the district division ELN supervisors in order to apply for CPD credits for your teachers. Turnover of reports should be done per LAC session completion of ELN modules. Here is an example. Module 1 is made up of 3 lessons should be covered in 3 LAC sessions within 1.5 months. Hence, the school's first set of LAC session reports should be submitted 1.5 months or at least 3 sessions after the course begins. Number 1, give all your teachers individual copies of the ELN digital courseware and course guide. Number 2, make sure all your teachers have access to the 5 K-3 storybooks used in the course. Number 3, organize all your teachers into LACs with not more than 15 members each, including the LAC facilitators. Number 4, appoint LAC facilitators who encourage collaborative learning by adhering strictly to the ELN Digital LAC Facilitators Guide. No lectures allowed. The channel for school-based continuous professional development is the School Learning Action Cell. School heads are the force that should steer the LACs to effect and sustain CPD gains for teachers. We believe in your capacity as school heads to lead your school to have a better outcome in everything. After all, the students' performance will speak of the kind of school you have.
So, wow, that was very challenging and inspiring, no? Because sabi ni Ma'am Villaneza, the school lies in the hands of the school heads. Ayan. So, balikan natin yung tanong. How can the school head support the learning action cells? So, first, provide each teacher with a copy of the courseware and course guide. So, ulitin natin, ay ibibigay po ni Ma'am Annie 1 per district. Ayan. So, gagawan natin ng paraan ito na every teacher in K-3 mabibigyan ng tig-isang copy. And then ensure that all teachers have access to the 5 required K-3 storybooks, yung na-mention natin na 5. Give them time for LACs, minimum of 90 minutes per session, twice a month. Okay? If we're talking about LACs, because we're in the new normal, it could be through Google Meet or via Zoom. And then, the school head should also give LAC facilitators the time to study and reflect on the teacher engagement reports and accomplish the LAC session reports. Then meet regularly with the LAC facilitators to talk about the best practices and challenges. Yan. So hindi pwedeng, okay ma'am, ito na po ang aming proposal, ganito po ang schedule ng LAC namin, at hanggang doon na lang. Hindi po. Kailangan we, the school head, should reach out to these LAC facilitators so that they would feel that we are in support to their program. And we have to collect also the LAC session reports and send them to the EPS for CPD credits. Okay, segment number 4. In the LAC session, getting started, what important reminders did the LAC facilitator give to the LAC members in order to prepare for the next LAC session? So, papanoorin po natin ang sample Slack ng isang school. Yan, sa Division of Nueva Ecija yata po ito, Sagapan Elementary School.
Hello, teachers. I am very happy to welcome you to the Early Language Literacy and Numeracy Digital Course. So ELLN Digital Course has 3 main objectives. Explain the principles of early language literacy and numeracy development and instruction. Second, discuss the components of balanced literacy and numeracy instruction. And third, plan and implement balanced literacy and numeracy instruction for K-3 learners. After achieving all these goals, we will be able to develop our pupils' reading and writing skills, critical thinking, and problem-solving skills. The course has 2 main components. First is a self-study of interactive multimedia courseware, and second is the collaborative learning in school-based learning action cells or the SLACs. Mga teachers, ito po ang ating ELLN Digital Courseware. Ang courseware na ito po ay mayroong 5 modules na mayroong 15 lessons. Kailangan niyo pong pagdaanan bawat isang lesson at kailangan niyo po itong aralin mag-isa. Lalo na po sa mga vacant time nyo. At lahat po ng assignment, be sure na nagawa nyo siya. And then para pagdating nyo po dito sa ating LAC session, ay handa kayo sa inyong pag-share ng mga insights or yung mga natutunan nyo mula sa courseware na ito. Narito po ang mga aklat na kasama sa ating course. At magagawa niyo po ng tama at successful ang ating courseware kung ito ay inyong mababasa at mapapag-aralan sa lesson kung saan siya ay matatapat. Si Pilong Patago-Tago po at ang Araw sa Palengke ay para sa mga kindergarten teachers. Ang Kamatis ni Peles naman ay para sa mga grade 1. Tuko, The Tenor Wannabe ay para po sa mga grade 2. At ang huli po ay ang Tight Times na para po sa mga grade 3. Lahat po ng aklat na ito ay dadalhin natin sa school library. Ito po ay ma-access nyo sa ating school library. Masaya po ako dahil tayo magkakasama sa ating ELLN Digital Course. Isa pa lamang po ito ng ating paglalakbay para sa improvement natin sa pagtuturo para sa ating hanggang grade students. Ngayon po bilang inyong LAC facilitator, ako po ay may mga iba't ibang responsibilidad upang matutulungan po ang ating session. Una po, kailangan siguraduhin po na ang ating guide ay ating sinusunod. Ito po ay dapat natin sundin ayon sa mga nakasunod po. At sisiguraduhin ko din po na talagang sinusundan nyo yung iba't ibang lesson na nasa digital course. At bilang LAC facilitator din po, ako po ang inyong magiging coordinator. At kung kayo naman po ay may mga concerns sa ating mga LAC sessions, maaaring ito po parating sa akin. At ito naman po ay aking sasabihin o i-share sa ating mahal na principal upang ito po ay matutunan agad at para po tayo ay magkaroon ng maayos ng mga session. Ganun din po, sisiguraduhin ko na kayo po ay magpapasa at gagawa ng mga activities sa ating courseware. So, ito ko po, monitor ko ang inyong assignments, siguraduhin ko po na every session, kayo po ay magpapasa sa akin. Kasi po, na-expect ko na pagdating po natin sa ating session, ang lahat po ay nakapag-aral na. Ito po ay gagawin ninyo sa inyong mga classroom or sa kahit anong libreng mga oras o sa inyong mga takaan. At ganoon din po, sisiguraduhin din po natin, tutulungan po kayo na yung mga kailangan nating materials sa ating mga session ay nandiyan upang maging maayos, maganda ang ating mga classes.
Ayan, so ang daming ginawa ng ating LAC facilitator. Kaya i-review nga po natin ano yung mga dapat na gawin ng ating LAC facilitator. Assignment, I should say, na inilalagak ng LAC facilitator sa mga LAC members o sa ating mga K-3 teachers. Yan. First, they should study the courseware during your free time. Remember, we will be using the blended learning model, which means that it will be self-paced and the teacher can take it or study it during their free time. And number 2, access the storybooks in the library kasi nandoon ang ating 5 storybooks na ang 2 doon ay para sa kinder at tig-isa naman sa grade 1, grade 2 at saka sa grade 3. And of course, there are assignments given to the LAC members, so kailangan ma-accomplish yung unang assignment bago doon sa susunod na naman na LAC session. So yan yung mga kailangan nating gawin. Kailangan nakatutok lagi ang ating mga kaguruan dito po sa ating ELLN. Kasi nga po, I remember tuloy yung isang friend ko na mahilig mag-selfie. Ayan. Ngayon, bumili pa siya ng kanyang, anong tawag doon, ng selfie stick, no? Para lang makapag-selfie siya. At maisama rin niya kami kasi nga social distancing. And then, after a month, na-discover niya na yun palang selfie mode ng kanyang nabiling cellphone ay merong wide. Diba? So, kung sana na-explore niya muna yung kanyang cellphone, hindi na sana siya napabili ng selfie stick, and hindi na rin sana niya laging dala-dala yung selfie stick na yun. So, ano po ang ibig kong sabihin? Ang gusto ko pong matandaan natin, malaman natin itong buong ELLN upang sa gayon walang maging sagabal sa pagsasagawa nito. At yung LAC session natin magiging smooth. So let's now move on to the next. The question is, describe what happens during the small group sharing and the plenary discussion. So we will watch again a video. Parang ayaw niyang mag-play. Yan. This is the nasa part 2 na tayo, no? Part 1 yung kanina. The LAC facilitators would introduce yan tungkol doon sa LAC session. Ayaw niyang mag-play sa akin. So, ibibigay na natin ang sagot, no? So that you won't be waiting. Yan. In a small group sharing, the LAC facilitator poses thought-provoking questions. Yan, ang bigat po, no? Thought-provoking questions. And there is more intimate discussion among members and teachers are asked to reflect individually. Kasi nga, si LAC facilitator, nag-i-inspire siya ng trust and sharing. So, there is more intimate discussion. At kung halimbawang meron tayong problema struggling reader, hindi mahihiya ang teacher na mag-share ng kanyang mga experiences kasi alam niya na in their LAC, there will be trust and it will be sacred. And in the plenary discussion, yan na yung i-present na niya sa lahat. Halimbawa, grupo siya ng K to 3 teachers, yung small group sharing by grade level, and then in the plenary discussion, yung lahat na po sila ay nandun. Effective po ito sa sa Zoom, ginagamit namin sa mga trainings. Tapos mag-create kayo ng mga breakout rooms, no, para doon sa bawat group sharing. And then in the plenary discussion, babalik kayo sa main room. Yan. So, pwede po natin gamitin ang Zoom. The LAC poses more questions to the group, asks members to present ideas to a bigger group, and the LAC facilitator synthesizes ideas and insights shared by the group members. So, kailangan yung characteristic ng LAC facilitator kanina, no, na good listener, nandoon pa rin. Hindi pwedeng habang nag-share yung mga members, si LAC facilitator, busy siya sa mga reports or forms ng LAC. Hindi po. Kailangan during the LAC talagang all ears, all eyes po. All heart. Yan, nandoon sa ating LAC. And of course, kung lahat ay nandoon sa LAC, ang pinaka-mabe-benefit naman po dito ay ating mga K to 3 learners. Ang ating mga beginning readers. Okay, sana mag-play na yung next video natin. No? Name at least 3 topics that were talked about, agreed on by the LAC members. Panoorin natin ang video. Oo, ganyan po ang ating LAC facilitator. No? Smile pa rin. Ayaw niya mag-play. Pero may video yan. Pero, yan. Diba ito siya? Sige sir, bigay ko na yung sagot. Hindi na. Ayan na sir. Discuss ko na lang. Sino na ba yun yung... So, ibibigay na po namin muli ang sagot dahil ayaw mag-play ang ating video. Pero alam ko po na, alam na po ninyo ito dahil marami pong isinasagawang LAC. And I know our CID chief and our SEPs in HRD, yan, nag-check po silang mabuti sa ating mga LAC proposals and training proposals. Kaya, at marami pong uploaded sa ating Facebook page ng Pangasinan 2, no po, sa Human Resource Development Division. Nandoon po lahat. Kaya alam na alam po ninyo to, pag-uusapan ninyo ang time and venue. Pwede rin ngayon new normal na time and application ba ang tamang term? Or ayan, kasi ang sagot na virtual via Google Meet, MS Teams, or Zoom ng pag-uusapan nyo. And then the participation, the groupings, the sharing, and the listening, yan. And then there will be a feedback, discussion of the outputs from the different members of the LAC, and then the submission of assignments and other forms, and then materials and resources. Dito po sa number 8, no, gusto ko pong i-emphasize na minsan po kasi tayong mga teachers, parang iniisip natin palagi pag-assignment, parang hala, ano ba yan, assignment na naman, mahirap to. Hindi po mahirap ang assignment kasi ito po yung kung ano yung galing sa puso natin na ginagawa rin naman natin sa pagtuturo. Kaya ibigay niyo lang po yung ano nyo doon, yung sarili nyo, yung puso nyo, and don't always focus your attention to your intention, yung dun sa mga how you construct the assignment. Minsan masyado tayong focus sa grammar. Yan. Minsan po kailangan natin ang i-focus natin, ano ba ang gusto nating mangyari? Ano ba yung gusto natin i-communicate? Maybe napaka-perfect ng grammar, ang lalim naman ng mga words na inilagay mo sa assignment mo. Sumakit na ang ulo ni LAC facilitator nung isinabit mo yung assignment. So, ang focus po natin dito, makita natin yung talagang output, hindi po tayo yung after sa malalalim na words or very technical writing skills, hindi po. Kasi ang endline po nito ay ang ating mga learners. So we will do this lap, we will finish the ELN digital courseware because our learners will be the most benefited from the program. Ayan po, next na tayo. Yan. Which of the following should happen in LAC session 1? So, sa session 1, yan, ano ang pwedeng mangyari? Yan, meron tayong question A. Coming up with agreements or norms on the conduct of LACs. Yan, yung sasabihin na, okay lang bang mag-cellphone during LAC? Okay lang bang naka-on ang cellphone ko kasi may webinar during LAC? Yung mga ganun pong bagay, pwede po nating pag-usapan. O okay lang ba na tumawag ang mga parents habang naglalakta? Yung mga ganun pong bagay. So, yan po, hindi ko po dinidiktaha. Kayo po ang magdedesisyon sa inyong LAC. Yan. Naalala ko tuloy ang isang Indian story, no, na merong isang lalaking gusto niyang makakuha ng rabbit na puting-puti. So, ang ginawa niya, hinabol niya yung isa mula sa kulungan. Pero, nakawala lahat yung 10 at hinabol niya ng hinabol pa ang mga iba-iba. Hanggang sa bandang huli, siyang sa kakahabol ng 10 rabbit. So, ang ibig ko sabihin, kung ano yung pinaka-importante, doon po muna tayo mag-focus. Next, simulating the small group and big group discussions or open sharing of ideas. So, pwede nyo pong pag-usapan. Halimbawa, kayo magkakagroup kayong grade 1 teachers. Ano ang mga gagawin ninyo? Anong pag-uusapan ninyo? Ayan. And then, sa plenary, ano naman ang gagawin natin? Pag-uusapan nyo po. Dinidiscuss ko na po, no? Kasi baka ayaw ulit mag-play ng video natin. And I hope you have this imaginary talent, ano man tawag doon, imagery, yung naiisip nyo habang kinikwento ko, yung nangyayari. And then, introduction of the ELN digital course for K-3 teachers. Yan. Gaya nung ginawa nung ating teacher kanina, no, nag-introduce siya ng tungkol sa ELN. And of course, you have to establish rapport. Hindi yung parang ang umpisa mo ay, kailangan natin gawin to kasi utos nila, ganito. Hindi ganun na. Kailangan yung hindi tayo masyadong demanding din among the members of the team at makita natin yung talagang purpose natin. Kasi kung focus tayo sa purpose, we will never go wrong. And then E, sabi niya, all of the above. So sa tingin ko, alam nyo na yung sagot. Letter E, syempre, all of the above. Ayun, tama ako. Hindi ulit mag-play ang ating video. So, please bear with me, di bale? Pagtsagaan nyo na lang muna ako kasi may yung mapapanood nyo doon, LAC-FASI. Ay, LAC-FASI facilitator nyo naman ako sa oras na ito. Yan. So, tama ang sagot ninyo. Yan, all of the above, letter E. Yan. Ngayon naman, name at least 2 things that the LAC facilitator did at the start of the LAC session. Sige, kung hindi natin napanood ang video ulit, ano ba ang una ninyong ginagawa? Pa-comment po sa ating YouTube live stream. Yan. Bigyan nyo ko ng cue, Ma'am April, kung merong sumagot. Ito pala, sorry. Wala pa. Ano yung unang ginagawa pag nag-umpisa yung LAC? Sige na, wag na kayong mahiya. Yan, sabi ni Ma'am Elsa, happy viewing everyone. Hello, Ma'am Elsa. Yan. Yan, sabi ni Ma'am Gina Roderos, orientation. Ano pa po? Thank you, Ma'am Gina. Yan, pa-shout out po sa mga ELLN coordinators ng Bautista District. Ayan. Yan, sabi ni Ma'am Ami Plays, orientation din. Sabi ni Mai Estrada, checking of attendance. Yan. And then, sabi ni Everyday with Hardy, state the day's objective and greet everyone. Parang kamustahan. Yun yung building rapport. Okay, ano pa kaya? Yan. Thank you po sa mga sumasagot, ha? Yan. So, sabi ni Ma'am Marlito, Sir Marlito Bali, start with the preliminaries, then orientation about the topics. And then sabi niya, give the objectives of LAC. Yeah. But I would like to remind you, ano po ang sinabi ni Ma'am Rosalina Villaneza, no lectures allowed during LAC session. So, ibig sabihin, during LAC session, nag-uusap-usap lang po kung ano yung natutunan natin. Kasi wala nang magle-lecture, kasi nga po, nandoon sa package yung dapat nyong matutunan. No? Through the videos of the DepEd given to us. Kaya sa LAC session, there will be a communication na lang among the members. Ayan. Sabi ni Ma'am Rowena Acosta, ayan, introduction of the LAC session, Ma'am Ediza Camacho, giving house rules, yan. Pwede rin mag-recap. Sabi ni Ma'am Jenny, Ma'am Maria Clara, sabi niya, greet everyone and orient the participants what they will do. Ma'am Teresa Abrera, sabi niya, start with the prayer. Ma'am Maribel, hello po Ma'am Nefertiri. Ayan ba ang una niyong gagawin, Ma'am? Joke lang. Thank you, Ma'am Bell. Yan, Ma'am Jesus Ignacio, introduce the ELLM digital course. Okay, so ito yung mga key answer natin at lahat ng mga nabanggit nyo po ay tumumpak sa ating mga sagot. Ito naman, okay, Ma'am Melissa, yan, watching from Villasis District 2, ayan. Ayan, marami po nagme-message sa atin. Ma'am Elsie, sabi niya, start with kumustahan and house rules. Ayan. Okay, let's go to segment number 9. What two tasks does the LAC facilitator accomplish before the end of the LAC session? So, ano naman ang pinakatrabaho ni LAC facilitator every end of LAC session? Tingnan natin. Okay, sana mag-play na siya. Parang ayaw pa rin niya. But as you could see on the screen, sabi niya dyan, allot 45 to 50 minutes. Yan, plenary discussion. And during this duration of the time, marami na po kayong mapag-uusapan na mga best practices, of course, the challenges, the issues that you have encountered, the gaps, and how can each one of the members of the team help one another to bridge the gap kung meron tayong mga challenges na nami-meet. So, eto na ating sagot. Ayan, mabilis lang tayo. Kasi ayaw mag-play ng ating mga videos. Ayan, sorry po ha. Number 1, sabi niya, the LAC facilitator introduces the topic for the next session. Yan. So, pag natapos na ang LAC session ngayon, hindi ibig sabihin na walang idea ang members about the next session because the LAC facilitator must introduce the next topic. Number 2, the LAC facilitators gives the teachers time to accomplish their teacher engagement report. Ginagawa na po natin ito. Kung maalala nyo po yung LDM2, that is LAC form number 3, if you still remember. Yan. So, magagamit po natin yung mga natutunan natin sa LDM para po ma-accomplish natin yung mga report. So, na ba? Ang dali-dali. And the LAC facilitator reminds the LAC members of the schedule of the next session. Bakit kailangang i-remind? Dahil, yan, pare-pareho po tayo na minsan may webinar, may na-schedule na meeting, may mga kung ano-anong commitments, yan. Kaya kailangan i-remind ni LACFASI so that the LAC members could reschedule their future commitments. At walang masasayang na oras kasi present ang mga LAC members. Kasi hindi natin alam na during a certain LAC session, meron kayong idea that time na pwedeng sa ibang panahon, hindi nyo yun maiisip. So, kailangan every session, as much as possible, present po lahat ang ating mga LAC members. Ayan. So, this is the ELL and Digital Scale-Up Implementation Cycles. Nandito na tayo sa Batch C. Yan. School year 2021 to 2022. So, kailangan within this duration of time, matatapos natin ang modules 1 to 2, 6 lessons in literacy. Yan. But, Madam Annabel Parel will be discussing this. Sa akin yung lang naintindihan ninyo ang ating blended learning model that we will use in this digital ELLN. Ayan. Meron pong mga important notes na sinabi ni Ma'am Villanesa. Ang mga materials ng face-to-face ELLN at digital ELLN hindi interchangeable or interusable. Ibig sabihin, yung package natin for digital ELLN, yun lamang po ang ating gagamitin. Kasi yun naman po ang ginawang material para doon. Kaya sabi ko, if you know very well the model, then we could maximize and get the most out of it. So I hope you learned from this orientation. Thank you. I'm your Fasi. Just call me Ma'am. Thank you so much, everyone.
Okay. So, thank you, Ma'am Nef, for sharing your expertise. Talagang ang galing-galing ni Ma'am Nef. Another virtual clap, please. Talagang we gain much from her. Okay, may mga questions pa po ba tayo sa regarding Ma'am Nef topics? Pwede po kayong sulat sa chat box natin, mag-message lang po. Okay.
Pwede ka magpasa dyan.
Okay, yan. Ang gaganda ng mga messages nila, Ma'am Nef. Congratulations, Adi. Thank you, Ma'am. Very comfy under those technical difficulties. Totoo po. Actually, nahihirapan po kami. Ang dami naming technical glitches. But then, praise God, nakakaraos naman. We're using several laptops. Actually, palipat-lipat po kami kung ano yung merong signal. Lilipat yung isa. Ganon. Pag nawala doon sa isa, lipat ulit. Okay, so yun ang buhay natin. Kaya we have to get used to it. Opo. Opo. Ayan. Thank you po. Ayan. So I guess that ends our morning session for this morning, ma'am. Okay na po. Okay, so reminder lang po, please join before 1:30. I-start natin ng 1:30 this afternoon. So let's have early lunch. Okay, God bless everyone. Thank you. See you later. 1:30, before 1:30, you have to be in. Thank you po. Okay, reminder lang po, may mga attendance link tayo dito for day. Okay, attendance? Attendance link. Okay, ipopost daw nila. Isa-share nila. Tignan nyo na lang po later.
Morning attendance.
Yes. Ayan. 4 a.m. attendance. Isi-share ni sir. Opo, nasa screen po. Isi-share po yan.
Pero nilagay ko na sa comment, andun na yung link.
Opo. Ayan. Screenshot nyo na lang po. And then, make sure that you'll have your attendance po. That's so important para you'll be given a certificate of participation. Okay. According to our speaker, yung mga video na pinakita na hindi nag-play, share ni Ma'am Parel po. I-include po yun sa mga flash drives na ibibigay by district po. Okay, so we are so happy na may mga ganito tayong pwede nating pagkuhanan ng ating mga resources. Thank you guys. God bless. See you this afternoon. Sign off muna po.